Hey there guys, and welcome back to another episode of Kokanee Across America, brought to you by Paulina Peak Tackle and Old Town Canoe and Kayak. It's a little bit of a different start to most of my videos because behind me is a very special place. This is where I had my very first encounter with kokanee. I went to school in Gunnison, Colorado at Western State College, now Western State University, and I had a crummy little apartment on the west end of town. A real rundown place, but I would often come down to the river to study, and it was my first fall. I come down this little park along the river and just sit here and go through my textbooks. And I was sitting here one day, and the river was a lot lower. I looked down, and there was all these little red fish in the river. And I had no idea. To me, it looked like salmon, but I didn't think that salmon lived in the interior. I'd grown up in Kansas, disconnected from anadromous fish runs, and so I went back into town. I started talking to people, and they told me that these are landlocked sockeye salmon, or kokanee. And that was the first time I'd actually encountered kokanee in my life. I ended up catching my very first kokanee out of Blue Mesa Reservoir from shore. It was actually a silverfish I caught on a rooster tail when I was trout fishing. So it's pretty exciting to be back here. Tomorrow morning I'm going to be out on the reservoir chasing hopefully some pretty big kokanee. They get not giant, but they get 16 to 18 inches in here, and occasionally they pull out fish larger than that. So we'll see what we get when we get out on the lake tomorrow, but I'm really looking forward to being back on my original first contact kokanee lake. All right, see you tomorrow morning. Okay, here we go, guys. It's a beautiful morning out here on Blue Mesa. It is warm. It's probably the warmest morning I've had this entire tour, which is weird. This is like the highest elevation lake I've been on, but this is the most far south I've been. And I don't know if you can tell behind me, there's my vehicle back there. I mean, the lake is way low. It's below 50% capacity. That's in part because of the drought, but also because they've been taking tons of water from here to feed Lake Powell and Lake Mead, which has, you know, taking just a little bit of water here has huge implications because it's a smaller reservoir. It doesn't really do anything to those lakes downstream. It's kind of a bummer, but definitely one of the threats to the future of kokanee fishing is just access, as these southwestern lakes, especially on the Colorado drainage, get pulled down further and further and further. Today I'm in the Saponaro Basin, which is basically the basin right in front of the dam, and I'm going to be fishing where two major creeks feed in from the north, Soap Creek and West Elk Creek. Hopefully find some kokanee out there in those humps, you know, on the edges where those different arms come together. Some other places that folks often get kokanee is in the Dry Gulch drainage, and you can get down there with a kayak. Because the water's so low, very limited boat launches right now. I think there's only 2 functional marinas right now on the reservoir. But kayakers, you can drive down on the lake bed a lot and get in. So the Saboya Basin is another good place to try. But yesterday when I came by, I saw most of the fleet down here. I don't know if that's just because it's easier to launch here and fish here, or if it's because the kokanee are here, but we'll find out. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do just a quick sweep of the water column, see what the water temperatures are, find out where that 53, 54 degree water temperature is. So I'll use my Fishhawk TD. It's just a little data logger I can drop down and records the temperature every 5 feet. So I'm marking a lot of fish at 80 to 100 feet, but I suspect that's the Mackinac on the lake that they're trying to get rid of because they're eating a lot of the trout and kokanee. I'm just going to go down maybe 60 feet. Okay, let's view. So 62 on the surface, 59 at 35, 58 at 40, 57 at 45. So it looks like ideal temperature is around 50 feet, 55 feet. It's right on 54 at 55 feet. So I'm marking some fish at 50. Those could be kokanee. Get some corn going. I made some corn last night rather than using gulp, because I've been carrying corn around with me in my car for this whole trip, and I figure I better just use it up and get rid of it. So I put this one with garlic bloody tuna. Since I like garlic bloody tuna, those water temps get above 62 at the surface, just seems to do better. So I'm gonna start one shallow, one deep on the downrigger. Oh, there's fish on the downrigger. Oh, you unclipped it. Feels good. What do we got here? It's a brown trout. Nice. Little baby brown. That's cool. Pretty little guy. Man, he's chunky. Look at that belly on him. Alright, buddy. We'll get you going. That's cool. That's a chunky fish. And you got that one in there too, huh, buddy? Really wanted that corn. Beautiful little brown. It's fat in the belly. See you, bud. That was a good hit. I always do that when I stop to do something. I'll hit it when I'm messing around. I'll slow down or speed up. Triggers a strike. That's why I like pedal drives for kokanee fishing. Deep rod's definitely getting more action, so I'm probably going to take this down deeper here in a sec. I'm getting nothing up top. I'm going to eat something. Sometimes that triggers the bite. Yeah. I got a cookie. Come on, guys. I got a cookie in right now. Today, the bite appears to be directional. I'm getting almost all my bites going into the sun. I hate that, because that means like half the time you're not fishing if you want to cover the same area. Was that a bite? Yeah, I thought I saw a bite there. There he is. There we go. There we go. There we go. Always on those turns. Let's see what we got here. What do we got here? Oh, it's kokanee. It's a nice one too. Oh, did you see that? He jumped out of the net. He jumped out of the net. That was wild. I had a kokanee in net, and then he was out of the net. Here we go. First kokanee. Blue Mesa, baby. That's a beautiful fish. Very thick. Probably 14, yeah, I'm going to say 15. Very healthy looking fish, though. Sweet. There we go. Oh, oh. Keep it in there, Tyler. Don't be silly. Showing off your fish. Alright, first Blue Mesa kokanee. Very fat fish. Healthy looking. They do have a little bit of copepods on the gills. Not too bad, but that's kind of expected in low, warm water, so just the nature of how it goes. They're loving this Peak Performance Purple Haze and Pink Purple Micro Hooch. Getting no love on anything else. Got some sun coming out. They're fishing deep. I'm getting nothing over here on the chartreuse and gold and orange. So I'm just gonna go to my favorite and see if that gives me something. Oop. That's what they always do when you threaten to take it off. They you get a fish. Ooh, feels like a good fish. When you're always like, oh, I'm gonna change something, that's when they bite. That's a nice kokanee too. Come on, buddy. A little bit bigger than the one I just had. Got him. That's a nice kokanee. Nice. Heck yeah. Purple Haze did it. I was losing faith in it. It's even bigger than the last one. Hey, there we go. Purple Haze. Micro hoochie. That's a nice fish. They're very thick in this reservoir. Very fat. And that was with a 4-ounce weight, 100 foot back. I like these snap weights a lot more because I can snap in, let out 35 feet of line. Then I can put 4 ounces on there. I can drop it really fast and the weight's not going to get back and tangle up with my gear. Sure, it's a pain to take off when the fish are coming up, but at least I know every time I drop, my gear is actually fishing. If you drop a little too fast with that 4-ounce weight tight to your Dodger, it's gonna tangle up on it. So the limit in Blue Mesa is 5 kokanee. It seems like I'm finding them in that 40 to 50 foot range where that water temp gets in the mid to upper 50s. Nice. Ooh, this feels like a good fish. Huge. It's peeling line. Really good fish. So all the kokanee in Blue Mesa actually run some 25 miles up the Gunnison River in the fall to spawn in the Gunnison River or make their way to the Roaring Judy Fish Hatchery. And the Roaring Judy Fish Hatchery is probably one of the most important kokanee hatcheries in the state of Colorado. They get about 7 million eggs there, and they depend on this source of kokanee here in Blue Mesa to stock kokanee across the entire state of Colorado. So it's a really important fishery for the entire state of Colorado in terms of kokanee. It supports most of the kokanee programs across the state. Man, what is this? This is a kokanee. It's a beast. Oh my god, dude, that's a tank. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's got to be 18, 19 inches. Oh my god, guys. That is a giant. Okay, here we go. That's a very nice fish. Take that any day on any reservoir. Look at that. Gorgeous. This one doesn't really have too many copepods. It's in really good shape. You ever have that happen where you see people in the water, you wave or say hello to them, and they just give you that dead stare? That's so weird to me, man. It's like just basic decency. It's gone on the water. I don't get it, man. We're all out here chasing kokanee. Just not that serious. So bizarre. You gotta be a pretty crummy person to just stone cold ignore somebody when they wave hello or say good morning. The key today has been turning. Like every time, most of the time what's happened is I've gotten a tap on this downriver rod. It just catches my eye, and then I start slowing down, and then I'll turn. I think they're just following, and then finally getting them to commit. Get him. Got him. They're loving pink purple. That's another nice kokanee. You want to take it? Different age class, 1 year younger. I'm gonna keep him though. I don't really like releasing kokanee with water temps in the upper mid 60s here on the surface, so I think it's better to just keep everything today. Pretty low odds of survivorship if I throw them back. So I am 1 away from my limit 5, and it is 7:58, so I'm doing pretty good this morning despite losing several fish right off the bat, which I'm sure a couple of them were kokanee based on how they hit and fight. And we're fighting this pink purple hoochie behind the purple haze is destroying them. There's a little school of kokanee. Here's my Dodger Ball 40. There's just been fish scattered. You can kind of see the marks here, there. These are probably Mackinaw. That's definitely kokanee. fish. Nice. I was on that spinner I just put on there. Feels heavy. It's probably gonna be a big mackin all the way. It's just dead weighting up from the bottom. Ugh. It just feels like a log on there. It's a big Mackinaw. Kind of what I thought it was gonna be. There we go. Look at that Mac. That's crazy. Oop. There we go. It's a rainbow. Darn it. Of course it's a rainbow. Why would I want anything else? It is covered in copepods. There it goes. Yeah, that's a bummer. Saw that blue back, thought I had a kokanee. But just a rainbow. Well, I've got rainbow trout, Mackinaw, brown, kokanee today. So got the good species mix. But I'm running out of time here with these thunderstorms closing in on me. Alright, well I ended up only with 4. It just shows you really got to capitalize on that morning bite. As you can see around me, there's thunderstorms everywhere, so I kind of had to get off the water. Lots of rumbling and rain coming and wind, so I wasn't getting anything but trout anyways. I did get 4 very nice fat kokanee. You can see how wide these things are. This one's just under 18, and some solid 15s and a little 13, 12 there, but very fat, very good looking fish. They do have a fair amount of parasites, unfortunately, on the gills, which is probably impeding their development. Now, if you're a kayaker, you can launch anywhere on Blue Mesa Reservoir, but if you're in a powerboat, you need to stop and get a invasive species inspection at any of the boat ramps. But there's lots of places to drive down the lake bed if you're a kayaker like me. Be sure to like and subscribe as I continue on my journey. Kokanee Across America, brought to you by Old Town Canoe and Kayak, Paulina Peak Tackle, Canada Downriggers, Humminbird, Grand Mounts, and Procure. Alright, I'm headed on to Utah next, and then Idaho, and back home for a little break before I go to the East Coast in pursuit of East Coast kokanee. Alright guys, I'll see you next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye guys.